I want to fight end of November or early December. After my first fight back, I'd love to go into a fight with Lamont Peterson because he's got the WBA title. That would be a world title fight, and it would be good for me to avenge that loss against him. Those are the words of Amir Khan, talking about his comeback plans. And I've said through Khan's trials and tribulations over the past few weeks that this is the best thing for him, really, is to concentrate on boxing again, to use boxing as a therapy. But it is a perilous road because we know Khan is a vulnerable fighter. He's very talented, but he's always been vulnerable. Getting knocked out again at this stage or losing again at this stage would compound his problems rather than alleviate them. So he's going to have to be very careful about the fights that he picks. His team are going to have to be very careful. They're going to have to make sure they don't put him in with any punches unless it's a really big fight. Unless it's a Kell Brook fight, for example, which is a fight which Khan still doesn't seem very keen on having. He's been saying yet again he'll only fight Kell Brook if Brook leaves Eddie Hearn, which is not a reasonable request as far as I'm concerned. Maybe some of you disagree. But as far as Lamont Peterson, indeed, Peterson is the WBA regular welterweight champion. The first fight between Khan and Peterson was a pretty good fight. Khan managed to drop Peterson early in the fight and was having success. But as soon as Peterson started coming forward, he changed tactics, started coming forward and applying pressure on Khan, he started having a lot of success. I think this is the one opponent that Khan has officially lost to, which people would give Khan the best chance of defeating in a rematch because of the fact that Lamont Peterson is not known as a concussive puncher. I've got the feeling that if Peterson does start catching Amir Khan with solid shots in the rematch, that he will hurt Amir Khan at some stage. I could be wrong, but that's how I feel. But certainly, he don't have the kind of punching power of a Danny Garcia, a Canelo Alvarez, probably not even a Bradis Prescott in his prime. So, out of the more notable names, 147 pounds, Peterson probably is one of the safer ones for Khan to go in the ring with. And again, he wants to avenge the loss. He's got pride. So, what do you think about an Amir Khan Lamont Peterson rematch, people? Is it something you'd like to see? And who would you pick in the rematch? Where will the rematch be? There was a lot of controversy about the scoring in the first fight. And obviously, as we know, that took place in Washington, D.C. And that's where Lamont Peterson is from. Peterson being the WBA regular champion and Khan not being his mandatory challenger or anything like that, you would have to imagine that Khan is going to have very little say over where the fight takes place. Even though he's the bigger name fighter, I would say internationally, in the US, is he a bigger name fighter than Lamont Peterson? Maybe, I don't know. I'm not sure. But the point being, will Khan really have any say over where the fight takes place? It might end up taking place in, well, it's most likely going to take place in the United States. So that's going to favor, you would imagine, Peterson rather than Khan if it comes down to judging and scoring and all that kind of thing. Peterson is also the champion. So Khan better make extra sure that he beats Peterson very decisively. Because the first fight, you know, people think Khan was robbed and he was hard done by, but it was a competitive fight. You're not going to tell me that fight wasn't competitive. Khan was up against the ropes a lot of the time, getting mauled by Lamont Peterson. So Khan better make it more decisive if he can, if he's stronger at 147. Whatever he has to do to keep Peterson off of him and gain more respect this time, he needs to do. So anyway, let me know how you feel about this potential matchup. How do you think it would go? Do you think it will take place? Will Khan even get past his comeback fight? You know? And yeah, do you think it will be different second time around if Khan fought Peterson again? Would the fight look different? Would it play out in a different way? Let me know how you feel, people. It's happening. I'm out.